Howdy.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I just finally got done with those notes as well, but not before being, I don't know why I do this to myself, being spoiled by something on Instagram.
Whoops.
Yeah, except it's, I don't know, it's freaking Disney. It's Disney themselves, Star Wars, like, I think, it's just like memory, muscle memory, basically. I'm like scrolling through, I see some, Star Wars, I can scroll here. Ah, shit!
I'm deciding when I want to buy this wireless charger 3-in-1 magnetic travel wireless charging station for multiple devices. It's on sale right now on Amazon for $36.99, and its original price is $109.99. And it ends in 3 hours.
Can you link it? Can you link it in the chat?
Uh,
Hey, Herschel. Who opened a beer? Howdy doody. Oh, you heard that. That's right, because I wasn't muted.
I'll have to save it somehow, because I don't have a way to send it now. Why do you want one?
I don't know. I'm just curious what it looks like. I don't know if it's something I need or not.
Oh. I don't know.
Herschel, link it.
I'll email it to you. It's the best way right now.
Oh, see, this is a thing because you're on your phone. Is that it?
I'm on my phone using that, but so I can't really.
This is one. I will say this is one of the nice things about the Apple ecosystem, though, is copy and paste goes from one device to the next.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Apple with, well, not that you would, but Herschel might.
There, I just sent it to you. Sent you the email.
To the email. Three in one. I suppose we gotta get going here. And if we don't have time for the other one, that's fine. But I have it on here for now anyway. Oh, I see. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. So I was thinking.
It flips. So you watch this. Show you. Just like this. Copy and almost that easy. And it's just that simple.
One of these days, and
littering and damn it. Really showing off its capability here. This is really going well. Well, I did just upgrade my iOS version. Maybe there's something screwy going on there.
Uh-oh, I didn't do that yet. Sounds like maybe I made a good choice.
I mean, if this is the worst of it, it's not. I might have to just enable it again or something.
Yeah.
That's weird, actually. Can't tell you the last time I had to rename. Maybe they thought it was too much of a security thing or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Well, all right. I suppose.
I think I should buy this, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got to. Anyway, keep going.
Well, let's do it. Okay, let's get started. Apples may rot, but androids can last forever. Oh, sure, whatever you say. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying there. But all right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome back to Disnerds Plus, where we talk about your favorite nerdy shows on Disney Plus. This is episode 46 for Thursday, September 21st, 2023. Today we are talking episode number 5 of Ahsoka, Shadow Warrior. I am Shane.
And I am Mike.
Well, hello there.
Hey, what's up?
Oh,
what's up, dude?
Not much.
I just bought that thing I was talking about earlier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, had to.
Doing some wireless charging travel capabilities. Sorry, I just sneezed there.
I thought you were gonna sniff your armpit. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah, not so much, but but I do mute my try to do my best to mute my sneezes, so that didn't come through. Oh yeah, we're talking about more Ahsoka. We're over the hump here. We're actually after today, because we were recording 2 episodes. Well, potentially 2 episodes tonight. 2 more after this one. Only.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or after today's that came out.
Is it 8 or 9?
8.
Okay, 8.
Yeah, there was confusion initially about 9. Some sources were saying
I think Andor was 9, wasn't it?
that was 12.
Oh,
She-Hulk was 9.
Maybe. Yeah.
It was. Yeah,
Anyway.
but they can't make up their mind how many episodes they need to convey a story, but it's okay. They're figuring it out. Figure it out. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into what we talked about last time. Previously on Ahsoka, that was the one there where we were hanging out on Cetos, and I guess this was kind of the last we see of Cetos for a while. But I thought somebody pronounced it a little bit different, like Cetos or something.
Yeah, it was Ahsoka said Cetos.
Yeah.
But then Baylan said Cetos, so I don't know.
This is like Han all over again.
Yep.
So they were Ahsoka, Sabine, and Huyang were there trying to contact Hera.
You ever want to say, like, when you hear Huyang, you want to be like, Huyang!
No, but I will now. Ahsoka was trying to give Sabine some talks there about letting go of the idea of getting Ezra back, because that was ultimately more important that we don't start a new war with Thrawn. But and then we see Hera disobeying her direct orders from the Senate, I guess. With Mon Mothma in there, and went off to head to Cetos anyway. Then the final calculations were going on there with that Eye of Sion, which sounds like I'm thinking of the Sion car all of a sudden, like some kind of accessory for it. But 2 different lightsaber battles simultaneously with that Marok and Shin. I'm actually remembering names now. It's good. And then Ahsoka ended up fighting Baylan at the henge on Cetos there. And
you call it the henge, I call it the shrine.
Sure.
Whatever works.
Mm-hmm. So they that battle happened, and Sabine reluctantly did not destroy the map as Ahsoka would have liked her to. Ahsoka went off the edge, and she made a deal with Baylan to go with him. Baylan surprisingly meant to keep his promise to her, or at least that's what it seemed at the time. And he ends up putting his lightsaber right through the map there, which again, by the way, orange, we've talked about it before, but like I've heard a lot of talk about it, or not a lot, but
it's not crimson red, we know that.
I know, it's just like, it's so close though, like I don't even notice it.
It's not, because even Dave Filoni said it's supposed to be, it's like, he said he got the inspiration because he looked at the original poster, and in the original poster, Darth Vader's lightsaber looks it's more reddish orange, like a blood orange, instead of crimson red. And then they changed it over time. So I think they're like dark Jedi maybe. They're not full Sith. They're just not always good. So they're kind of like they kind of teeter totter on the Sith.
Right.
Dark side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, because it's not because if you went full because there are orange lightsabers already, right? Like elsewhere, probably part
Maybe.
of the original Jedi Order. I'm sure they had to have had orange in there, like more of like an orange, like a
Honestly, I think Baylan was the first time I saw an orange lightsaber.
Okay, now I'm curious about this because
You went way off a tangent now.
oh yeah. Oh, of course. That's what you do. Everything out there of course is going to be for Baylan now, but yeah.
Maybe Legends, but not canon.
Oh yeah, cuz they both cuz Shin's is also.
Mm-hmm. There's a purple lightsaber.
Wait,
Now there's like
what about Yaddle? What
yellowish.
about Yaddle?
Yaddle, I believe, had a blue. Then she was in the is it that Tales of the
Tales
Jedi?
of the
Whatever it
yeah,
is.
that's one thing I still haven't seen. I
Huh.
don't know. There's
Well, and I can't even talk to you about because yeah, there's a lot that happens in there.
uh-huh. There's a lot that yeah, okay. Good to know. Well, I'm seeing one thing with her with one, but I don't know. Maybe that's there's some different things.
I had
There.
never seen an orange lightsaber until now. This show. I
There's definitely some comic art that's got I think Yaddle with an orange lightsaber. So there's a few things in here that I'm not making this up. I'm looking right at it. Anyway,
it's green. Her lightsaber is green.
it's green, but I'll show you. Just type in Yaddle lightsaber color, and you'll see some orange ones in there. There's even
It's not
videos
canon.
with.
It's not canon then.
Let's see Wikipedia.
She's been established with a green lightsaber.
Even the image for Yaddle's lightsaber shows orange on Wikipedia under canon. So
on Wikipedia, are you looking at the same one as me?
Wikipedia, yeah. Wikipedia, or wait, yeah.
Wikipedia. Oh yeah, you're looking at this. You have to click on it, and then it goes to Legends. It's a Legends.
You're a legend.
It's a Legend lightsaber, not canon. Because when you click on canon, then it goes to the green lightsaber.
Well, it's confusing which tab you have selected.
Aha.
Yeah, right. Okay, fair enough. Moving on. We did. Okay, just settle down. For Christ's sake. There was a frickin'. Okay, fine. You know what you could do? You could definitely select orange in the video games. Like, I'm sure of that. Canonical video games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how far they're like trying to think about canonizing what they're canonizing. Okay. But the orange lightsaber is canon off of Baylan and Shin. So story end the story.
Okay. Well, I just don't know I don't know what the rules are on like what colors you can or can't have. Like,
maybe they'll show that soon. Maybe they'll give us more in detail or enlightenment on that.
Okay. Write us in if you would like to have more input on this topic. All right. So, what else happened here? I destroyed the map. Hera's squadron arrived. I guess I didn't end up correcting that. But was promptly ignored because they needed to get out of there. The Eye of Sion ended up taking off. It was engaged, and then a bunch of ships went flying. At least one of them ended up exploding. And
Splody. They went splody.
Yeah, so Ahsoka, wasn't sure what was going on with her. Yeah. we end the episode with Ahsoka as the camera pans across the ocean. We are taken into the world between worlds.
Yes.
Which Mike is going to talk about at this very moment.
Yeah, this is why I have a lot of notes. Sorry, Shane.
Hey, well, however long you want to talk for, man.
Yeah. Well, all right. So let's get started. We begin with episode 5, Shadow Warrior. Yeah. We start with Cetos. We kind of fly in over the water, and then we see the forest, not the water. We fly over the forest, and then kind of see the shrine, and then we see the broken map on the side of the main pedestal of the shrine, or what like Shane likes to call the hedge.
Henge. I mean, it's not what they say it in the show, so I didn't just make that up.
Oh, they did? I didn't even realize they said that.
Baylan at least did at one point, yeah.
Oh. So the ghost landing near the henge and comes out with guns up, checking the area, making sure, or not making sure, she's probably looking around actually, for where Sabine and Ahsoka are. Hera and Carson are over comms, curious where everyone went. Jacen then comes out of the ghost and asks if he can come out of the shit. What? Come out of the ship.
Hey, I will say you had Chopper spelled as Chooper in here at one point. I did correct it.
I was trying to, you know how it is when you type and you're like just trying to get through it.
Sure do.
Kind of gets, yeah. And so she says he can come out, but needs to stay near Chopper. Hera then hears noise and kind of starts moving forward and finds Huyang with Sabine's helmet, looking over the edge and into the water or ocean. And then Huyang talks to Hera about they never listen, and he said to stay together, but they never listen. And he's kind of sad, I think, at this point.
And pissed.
Didn't know droids could get sad or pissed, but this one looks pretty sad and pissed. And then we go back into the world between worlds. Ooh. We see Ahsoka and Anakin are looking at each other and start talking. Ahsoka says, "You look young," and Anakin jabs her with "You look old" remark, and she kind of just gives him a little smirk about it. She asked Anakin what happened, and he said, "You lost a fight." She remembers fighting Baylan. And Anakin says, "Whoops." And Anakin says it's good and have a chance to live, or she has a chance to live. I messed that up. Okay. So Anakin says he's here to finish her training. He remarks. Well, she remarks first saying training, there's nothing basically. Can you train me anymore? And he remarks, one is never too old to learn snips.
Keep saying snips. So yeah, just a quick
snips.
Quick point. I had to look up at one point. I don't know if it's immediately obvious, and maybe it was more obvious if you go back to the original, the first or the original Clone Wars movie. That she was Snippy or whatever. I guess was where he got that nickname.
Yep. Okay, so yes, gives her a little remark. Says snips. She asks what the lesson is, Master, and he says live or die. And then he ignites his lightsaber and slowly turns. It's blue lightsaber, by the way, so it's his Clone Wars saber. Ahsoka says she doesn't want to fight, and Anakin says, "I've heard that before." And I'm thinking maybe this was referring to Luke and Return of the Jedi. Excuse me.
Oh, good catch. Yeah.
Yep. And then they start to duel, and it's epic.
I'm trying to remember the exact line. Like, I won't fight you, kind of a thing. Like,
yep. And I think that's where that reference comes from. Like, that's pretty cool that they connected that. So we're back at Cetos. We see Jacen looking out at the ocean and listening. Harry asks Huyang if there's anything. What were they doing? Why did I put that Hera and Huyang is anything?
any like
detecting
radar type of thing or something?
Yeah, just catching any of the they were scanning and stuff. That's right. Talk about Sabine and Ahsoka absence. Trying to figure out where they went. Carson says they are needed at HQ, and Hera and Carson start debating. Jacen then tells Hera that something is in the water.
Yeah, Carson's being kind of a little obnoxious at this point, like constantly nagging her for
freaking out. He's just kind of like, oh my god, we gotta like go. So Jacen says Hera comes over to find out what's up, and Jacen says he feels something out there. And then Jacen again says listen and to listen to the waves. So she asks, what are you listening for? And Jacen says, don't you hear it? And Jacen says the lightsabers. Hera focuses in and can start. They imply that she starts hearing the lightsabers clashing. Hera tells Carson to get back in the air and scan over the ocean again. Carson looks confused on what happened, and Huyang says Jacen has abilities and mentions his father was a Jedi.
Okay, real quick before I actually once. I may as well mention this right away, or else I'll forget. But I didn't realize. So we were talking about so Teva being that guy that was from Kim's Convenience. I assume he's the shop owner. Well, I didn't realize that Shang-Chi, that actor, was like his son in that show.
I didn't know that either.
I assume it's the son that got the same last name in the show, but yeah, crazy.
Interesting. Nice. Good little plug in there. So Carson gets the squad airborne. And then we go back to the world between worlds. Ahsoka and Anakin continue their duel. Ahsoka is able to get a physical hit on Anakin, and he looks surprised. Ahsoka says, looks like you have nothing left to offer. And Anakin replies, I haven't taught you everything yet. And then slices the bridge, and Ahsoka falls through.
Yep, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I was not either. Kind of just smirks and just boom, gone. We see her falling through the sky, and then it turns into a pinkish clouds, or maybe orangish eventually. Clouds clear to reveal a young Ahsoka with clone troopers running past her. So basically, at this point, we're in a Force vision, and it's going back to one of Anakin and Ahsoka's first missions together as Master and Padawan.
Yeah, and just for the sake of mentioning, this was young. I can't think of her name all of a sudden, so I still down. Right.
Oh yeah. Her young
Gamora.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm trying to find the one other thing she was in. Wait, so this will be episode. So this is, let's see, episode number. Which one are we on? 5. Looks like I can separate them out on IMDb. Just want to find out. Here we go.
Oh, she was in Barbie as well.
Ariana Greenblatt.
Yep.
Greenblatt.
Young Gamora.
Barbie. Gamora. Okay.
Barbie and
65. I thought, maybe that's what it was. I thought there was like a ghost in something that I saw, but not sure offhand.
I don't see anything like that, but yeah.
No,
Find it.
no. Go ahead without me.
Oh, okay. Anakin comes from behind her and orders the troops forward, march, and tells Ahsoka to hurry up. Ahsoka looks around and says, "This is the Clone Wars." And Anakin and Ahsoka talk about this being one of their first missions. Ahsoka lights up her green lightsaber, so this is her first lightsaber, and runs into battle asking Anakin about her training. And he says, "This is your training."
Very very perceptive of the lightsaber colors. I am very much not usually paying attention to them for some reason.
They mean stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and
Um,
time. It's good to see. Yeah, like timeline wise, it adds up.
that's true. It's also like her evolution. The battle goes on, and then clouds roll over to a new scene with the clone troopers injured and getting medical attention. Ahsoka holds an injured clone's hand and is sad. So, and then Anakin comes over to get her ready for another attack, and she looks over to the injured clones. Anakin then asks if there is a problem, and she says, "We lost so many." Anakin and Ahsoka have master Padawan moment, teaching moment, and it's where she's like, "This is not supposed to be my training," because she expected to be a Jedi that's preserving the peace and not a warrior or anything like that. Um, then where are we here? She asks what is she wants what if she wants to stop fighting. Anakin says, "You'll die," and walks off with the clone troopers. Ahsoka watches
Mm-hmm.
Anakin walk away, and in the blast, which I thought this was a cool scene, was basically while she's watching him walk away, there's certain flashes and in the smoke, and it shows like a silhouette of Darth Vader, and then shows like the red lightsaber, and goes back to normal Anakin with the blue, which I that was a pretty cool effect. Uh,
Yeah.
back to back on Cetos, we're back at the Henge. And we see Jacen watching the X-wings fly over the ocean. Carson radios in asking Hera how many times to run, and they are going to press their fuel. And Hera says to widen the search. On the Ghost with Hera and Huyang.
You know what? Real quick, I just want to say, I feel like we haven't focused enough on it being the ghost. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, you only see one part of it, really. You see the outside and then the
well,
cockpit.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the ship from all of Rebels, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a
And
cool
it's just
ship.
like a pretty minor part of the series. I know it's the Ahsoka show, but so far it's not as heavily Ahsoka focused as actually now that I think about it, Ahsoka was not in this last episode at all.
A little bit.
No, not at all. Like this one, but like, yeah. Anyway, talked about, but
Yeah.
we'll get
What?
to that. We'll get to that.
Okay. Harris tells Huyang that Carson's not wrong about stopping the search. Huyang mentions the New Republic allowing the mission and says it was not approved. Huyang says She does it this way because it's her nature and it's why people like her. Hera asks where they are, and Huyang says there's a chance that they are out there. And Lady Tano, God dang
Lady
it,
Tanyo.
Tano is tenacious like her master, which is, ooh, master, okay. Hera asks what Ahsoka's master was like, and Huyang says intense, which I
Yeah.
wondered if Huyang knew that Anakin went to the dark side or not, or if he's just saying intense because he was an intense master.
Well, here's the thing. At this point, definitely would have, I think, right?
Yeah.
This is post. I mean, yeah, like he's not even alive anymore. So,
Right.
like, I think everyone that was not clued in before definitely gets it now.
Or Huyang was still at the temple when he saw it all happen too. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah, true.
All right. So Jacen then radios and saying Chopper found something and they need to get lower, like super low, basically where they're like skidding on the water. And you just hear Chopper like Hera's like, "Are you sure?" And you just hear Chopper in the background like, "Brum, brum, 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 brum." It's normal thing.
That is so Chopper.
It is. Then we go back to the world between worlds. We see a little older Ahsoka, which is probably a few years into the Clone Wars. Well, actually, this is the end of the Clone Wars because they're at the siege of Mandalore, which is pretty cool because we also saw Siege of Mandalore in the final episodes of Clone Wars. So that was pretty neat. This title is 2 in.
Yeah, that was that the last episode?
That was the last season that came out, like recent season.
Yeah, it was
because that's where you got introduced to Bad Batch.
Right, but I mean, like, wasn't that literally the title of the very last episode of season 7? Was the Siege on Mandalore?
Not the very last, because the very last was something after like Order 66. So it was probably like second or third to last.
Yeah, I remember
episodes.
seeing someone was doing like a super cut, right, where they like spliced in pieces of that last season to Revenge of the Sith, I think.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I haven't checked it out. I've seen it like posted. So yeah, so we see Ahsoka with her dual lightsabers now, and she's fighting Maul Mandos. So we're in the Darth Maul reign era of Mandalore. We then hear a clone saying, "Good job, Commander," and we see Captain Rex in all his glorious armor.
Yeah, finally get to see him, but unfortunately, not with his helmet off.
I mean, he's in battle. Why would he have his helmet off?
I don't know, because
it's a good way also that they don't need to get the actor in more. Morrison just needed his voice.
I mean, they literally were done battling, but yeah.
I mean, he stopped for a minute, like giving her the props, and then he runs. Then he runs into battle with his brothers. That's right, I said brothers, not soldiers, because they are brothers.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
So Ahsoka then is like, "Okay, I'm done." Puts away her lightsabers. Anakin walks up saying he doesn't know this battle, and Ahsoka says that it's the siege of Mandalore, and that he was not at this battle, and this is basically prior to them parting ways, before he went on his bad road. Let's say.
Oh yeah, I didn't even put that together. That this was just before that.
Yep. Right before they parted, and because her dual lightsabers he gave them to her in the cartoon episode that she shows in this episode. So,
and there was there was also maybe worth noting that the episode I'm thinking of is where there's all the clone troopers that have like her like decor painted on their helmets.
Oh yeah,
too.
they had that in there too. I think I saw. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, was it in this episode?
Yeah, they did run past, and there was some with the Ahsoka painted helmets on.
Oh wow!
So they kept up with the like making sure it was together. So good on them. Even the outfit she has, it looks exactly like the one in the cartoon. So they did good. Let's see. Oh, they talk about this battle, and it looks intense. And I can tell Ahsoka that that the training she received from his is part of a legacy from Obi-Wan to Qui-Gon Jinn. Ahsoka says her part of this legacy is one of death and war. Anakin says she's more than that because he's more than that. She turns to him and says, "You're more powerful and dangerous." And then Anakin says that he needs to start over, and then walks away from her and ignites a red lightsaber this time, while saying, "Live or die." And then he turns, and you can see his Sith red eyes as they start a duel again. Mind you, she's still in her young form, and he's in his just Anakin form. As he walks through the smoke, Anakin then grabs her and kicks her back into the World Between Worlds bridge, or whatever it was. As it walks through the smoke, lightning is seen, and you can see the Vader and Anakin coming at her, like the transition when the lightning comes around.
This is a cool scene.
And then I like this part when he says, "You lack conviction." It sounds like Anakin and Vader's voice like merged. That was
I noticed that too.
Oh, that's
cool.
scary.
Which they did a little bit in Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But that was more like on the nose. And this was a little more subtle, I thought.
Yeah, for sure. Ahsoka and Anakin are still fighting, and Anakin says, "Time to die." Ahsoka is able to disarm Anakin and takes his saber. Ahsoka takes the saber and kind of lifts it up to his neck, and then she kind of just looks and then turns off the saber and says, "I choose to live." And Anakin then steps back and then looks down. And when he looks back up, his eyes are normal again. He then looks at Ahsoka and says, "There's hope for you yet," and smiles. She turns, hearing some thunder. And then when she turns back, Anakin is gone. She then starts to see like the stars in the World Between Worlds kind of just falling down. And as she's seeing that, you see her basically submerged in the water. Then, back on Cetos, we see Ahsoka floating in the ocean, and she's kind of just opening her eyes and looking up at the surface. Pilot jumps in and retrieves Ahsoka. They're able to get Ahsoka on the Ghost. Ahsoka opens her eyes briefly and starts repeating Anakin. Chopper and Jacen are sitting at the henge and sees the ships fly in. Jacen mentions they got her, Chop, and so his force abilities obviously are being shown there, right? Ahsoka is resting in her. Did I put a B in there? Well, to be fair, B and H are like right here together. So, she's resting on her ship. Huyang and then she wakes up. Huyang comes in and greets her. Ahsoka asks Huyang how long she's been out, and he says 1 rotation, which I'm guessing is like the day, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Never actually figured that one.
Well, it certainly wouldn't have been a year. I guess it'd be a revolution, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. So
let's not forget to point out as some people have redeemed it, the nudeness.
Oh yeah,
the
nude head.
Because I'm like, what's different at first? Because the blending of her tendrils into her skin is like, well, I guess it's all part of her skin.
Yeah, it's supposed. Yeah,
but it's more of an abrupt fade than I would have anticipated. But
yeah, it was weird. I was thrown back a bit. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's see. Huyang mentions Jacen is here, and if it was not for him, they would not have found her. Ask about Sabine, and Huyang says she has not been found and hands over the destroyed map. Ahsoka walks off her ship to the henge where Hera, Jacen, and Chopper are waiting. Jacen is happy to see Ahsoka, and Ahsoka thanks him. Jacen says he heard her fighting with lightsabers and asked who she was fighting. Hera asks Huyang to take Jacen into the Jedi starship to show him around.
Yeah, and he's like
just asking every question to Huyang, and Huyang's like just basically like, no.
Well, at first he was like reluctant, because he wanted to know, he wanted to still be part of their conversation, right? And they were trying to get him out of there. He's like, I've seen a starship before, and then, but have you seen one that I forget what the exact
Jedi starship?
Yes.
And that's where they're like, no, let's check it out. Hera and Ahsoka start talking about Sabine. Ahsoka starts then walking around. Well, she mentions that she can try to look into the appearance of, into the like the memories of the with the Force or the echoes. So she starts walking around using holding on to the map and using the Force, and then see what happened to Sabine. She starts hearing the echoes of Sabine talking to Baylan and going with them. Ahsoka hears the last part mentioning to do it for Ezra. Ahsoka says she is alive and that they took her. So they start trying to figure out how to get Sabine. Carson comes over to say the fleet is on their way, and they are not on their way to help.
Yep. Oh, look at you correcting the theirs.
See Sabine's helmet, and Ahsoka's just staring at it, kind of just thinking. And then she starts hearing the purrgil and looks up and sees them flying around. Hera and Carson are in the Ghost, then talking to Chancellor Mon Mothma about disobeying orders, and asks if Hera and Ahsoka have found anything pertaining to Thrawn. They basically say they haven't found anything. Which, I mean, they did see the ship, but they didn't really say much about that, which was interesting. But I guess they didn't have any scans or anything. I mean, probably that could have been the reason. Anywho, Mon Mothma then tells Hera that the Oversight Committee is going to have a hearing on Hera's rank, and they're basically going to kind of try to just take her rank away, which would not make her general anymore, which would suck. Then Ahsoka comes in after that little pleasant meeting they had with Mon Mothma and says she knows how to follow Sabine. Then we see all the ships take off in the Cetos' upper atmosphere. Hera and Huyang both say they don't like this idea while they're over comms. And Ahsoka says this is the only way without a map or coordinates. Ahsoka is wearing some new white attire. She went from Ahsoka the gray to Ahsoka the white.
Yeah, it's just like all these different. Turns out color in general is a very meaningful thing, and like I don't know why I didn't even pay any attention at all to what she was wearing for some reason. But
damn.
I mean, yeah, not really. Like it's still like it's in hindsight, yes, but it's just like she's just wearing a new thing. It's fine. I don't know. People change clothes.
The whole thing is because she went through her final lesson with Anakin, basically, and made her more like I think they're going for like she's more pure now or something. You know.
And Disney doesn't even own Lord of the Rings yet.
Yes. We then start to see them fly through a pod of purrgil, both the Ghost and the Jedi ship or Star Cruiser. There are a bunch of small purrgil, and he mentions up ahead is a large one. Ahsoka says that will do, and to wish her luck. We then see her outside on her ship, looking out at the purrgil. We then see a really big purrgil show up in front of Ahsoka's ship and sees her, I think.
Grandma Purrgil.
I think they sees Carson radios in to Hera about the fleet coming in and says to stop them from coming into the atmosphere so they don't scare the pod. Then the fleet ships drop out of hyperspace near Cetos. The X-Wing squad then
Sorry.
radios.
The way you put it here, drop out. Like, oh, we dropped out of hyperspace. You know, we're too cool for school.
Right. Now I'm gonna fix that. The X-Wing squad then radios into the fleet asking for them to identify themselves. Carson keeps on stalling, them stating that they can't pass until Hera is done with her mission. Fleet captain then the fleet captain goes back and forth with Carson. Captain then says to tell her what's happening, and Carson says, "Okay, but you will not believe him, or believe me."
I'm thinking like, oh man, they're gonna shut this shit down. Oh no.
Right. Jacen talks about the purrgil and the stories Hera told him about the purrgil taking Ezra away, and now they'll take Ahsoka to where Ezra is. Ahsoka reaches out her hand to the Big Daddy purrgil, and then the Big Daddy purrgil
the BDP, yep.
The BDP, yep. His eye moves to look at Ahsoka and then starts opening its mouth. So when this happened, I'm like, this is like Pinocchio all over.
They're really like, those whales are very whale-like.
Right.
Down to the their weird teeth.
Yeah, sharp, very sharp.
Yeah, they're like they are more like bristles or something, right? Like that's for the krill, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, yeah, it's weird. Okay, so Ahsoka looks into the cockpit to tell Huyang to move into the mouth. Huyang says, all right, but you come back inside. Like he's freaking out a little bit, I think. Ahsoka comes back in, and then they land in the purrgil mouth.
Yep.
The purrgil then closes his mouth, and Huyang asks Ahsoka how she knows the purrgil will take them to where Sabine went, and she says she has no idea, with a big smile, like, no idea. Don't know. Don't even know.
Yeah,
like,
we may as well
run on some faith.
Call this purrgil monstro. You're right. There really has a lot of those vibes going on here.
Huyang's slow turn of his head is classic, and he's basically shitting his metal pants now.
Shitting oil.
Yeah. Pissing the oil away. See the fleet captain again listening to Carson about the purrgil plan, and then Hera radios in to tell the captain to move her ships. The captain sees the purrgil and has the ships use evasive maneuvers. Purrgil start flying past the ships.
Yeah, those purrgil don't give a shit about those ships. Like,
no,
literally, they're like avoiding him, but they're also going like right through them.
Right. Is it AWE or AWE?
AWE, yeah.
Okay.
You'll see the AWW in the next episode. I put a little in there.
Oh god. We see Big Daddy Purrgil flying over the X-Wing squad again. I just want him he should just have it as side of his one side to say Big Daddy Purrgil on it.
Yeah, to be fair, we don't know the actual gender of the purrgil. We don't know. We don't well, and they're not going to show that, but we'll assume it's a daddy, maybe. Could be a mama.
Yeah. Could be a mama, but who knows? So then we see the purrgil tentacles start lighting up, and up blue showing they're getting ready to jump in the hyperspace, hyperdrive.
Yeah, kind of their butts. I mean,
yeah,
like
it must be. It's like a long fart.
Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna be somewhere, I guess the rear would be the place that would happen. Right. It's been so long. Like Rebels, do we see them actually do the jumps in that show?
Yeah, they did.
It's pretty similar effect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a better effect, I would say, but
in this, you're saying it's better. Yeah.
It's cool to see it to try to make it live action.
Very cool.
It's computer animated, but
And I gotta say, I am. This happens to me all the time, but I'm just like so disappointed in myself that I didn't even think. Like, all the signs have been there. The purrgil are like, and I guess maybe that was the one key point was I forgot the obvious point because we literally see them in hyperspace in Mandalorian season 3. You'd think I would have put that together. No,
that really big one in there too, the shadow. Now there's like people saying, well, maybe they were in hyperspace. They went and then the Ahsoka and Huyang went in that purrgil to go to hyperspace. They saw that was when Grogu saw them going out of the galaxy.
Dude, I just
like
got literal chills thinking that.
That was like, damn, that would be cool.
Oh God, this is all just making me so hyped for his movie.
His movie,
Ultimate.
I know, it's gonna be nuts.
Man.
So the ghost is flying near the purrgil, and Hera. Damn, put here are my auto
different spelling of here from before.
Hera radios to Ahsoka that the purrgil are getting ready to jump. Ahsoka's sorry that Hera can't make the trip, and she promises, God, did it again.
That's totally fine.
The Hera says she's fine. Basically, like saying that Jacen's too young to go to hyperspace or to another galaxy.
Yeah, it's totally fine bringing him to other planets where there could be potential enemies and everything, and the giant hyperspace ring that
or you could have, didn't want to go into a whale's mouth, maybe. I don't know.
It's sci-fi. What can you say? Or science fantasy, I guess people have said.
Sci-fi Moby Dick.
Yep.
Ahsoka. Then we just no, I'm sorry, we got done with that. So then we just see Ahsoka and Huyang basically sitting in the cockpit while there's a big bright shiny light coming through the purrgil's teeth gaps, and then they go to hyperspace, and that is it.
Yep.
Yay.
Yep. And that's, if I'm not mistaken.
And now Shane has to make his rating.
Oh wait, is that how we do it? We reverse it?
Yep.
Are you sure that's how we've been doing it? I may have just not did the order right because I have this as.
I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be the person that reviewed it that goes first now.
Oh really?
I think so.
Really?
I think so. All right, well, I guess I got to do it. Ratings are hard, man.
4-7.
Ooh, I knew you liked this one. Yeah, I liked it too. I liked it quite a bit. What didn't I like about it, though? I guess there really wasn't that much I didn't like about it. But
I could have gone with less. I wish it was just a whole episode of Anakin and Ahsoka, to be honest. But
yeah,
I'll take what I got.
I'm gonna say 4-6. This was the 5th episode. I'm missing one in here. 4. That's right. Everything's been. This was definitely the highest rated one, though. Everything before this was 4.35. Actually, wait. I am missing one.
That was a long episode.
Yep. You've been looking out like that.
Yeah.
Got through it rather quickly, though. Good job.
That was the goal, trying to get through it quickly.
So episode 45, we had a 4.45. So we're just going up. We're just going up from here.
It's good. It's a good show. I mean, maybe there's some aesthetic things, but I'm not going to complain about it. Whatever. Nothing is going to be perfect all the time.
No, and I am very much able to suspend my disbelief. Considering not only am I able to suspend my disbelief, like if things don't look 100%, it's like it still looks infinitely better than the prequels. It looks infinitely better
Yeah.
than, well, definitely better than the like special edition shit, like which has already undergone multiple iterations, which I didn't even realize. But like you go back to those original special editions, and it's pretty bad.
I believe it. I remember watching those all.
Yeah, it's progress. We've come a long way. I think things look pretty damn good at this point. So, all right.
It's like a tapestry now.
Yes. Well, I'll do it for episode 5.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Any last thoughts before we?
Can't wait for the next episode.
Right on. All right. Well, hey, thanks everyone for tuning in. If you'd like to reach us about anything in particular, you can do so at disnerdsplus@gmail.com. The website is disnerdsplus.com. Still recording Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/ShaveMadOx. You can find Mike at CoolAs8Cucumber, and you can find me at ShaveMadOx, and I guess that's on Twitter/X, which I don't really want to call it. But
it's not really Twitter anymore. So. Okay.
Yeah, but what do you call an individual post? Is it just a post now? It's not a tweet anymore because it's
not
X.
A tweet.
It's not a tweet.
It's an
Can't
X.
call it a tweet. Well, I have hope it'll change back at some point. We'll see. Or it'll just go away entirely because that seems to be what's happening to it. All right. That'll about do it for this evening. Thanks again. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Herschel, for hanging out with us in chat. And until next time, which might still be tonight, may the Force be with you! I feel like you were about to say something. Oh, no. Okay. I thought maybe you were going to say that you needed to get to bed or something.
Oh no! I mean, it's only 9:38. We can finish up and get caught up and to be done with it.
Sweet. Yeah, I agree.
Because yours is like 3 pages shorter, so in theory we should be done by like a little after 10.
Oh shit! There was one thing I forgot to say, which I can quick mention, which is, and maybe I'd talk about it on the show. Well, I'll just mention it here. Did you know one of those Jedi games you could, like, if you pre-ordered, Cal gets an orange lightsaber?
I did not know that.
Supposedly that's like the only quote unquote, with some whatever I was reading, like put it under canon for that reason.
Wait, was it the first one though?
I was trying to figure out which one it was.
Because I did pre-order the first one. Did I pre-order the second one? I can't remember if I did. No, I didn't, because they kept on messing with the date.
Gotcha. Well, maybe. Well, I guess if you didn't see one in the first one, then maybe it is the second one.
Well, now I got to go back to that game and check what I left off with, because I could see what I can switch to, technically.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's also they introduced in. I don't know if this is going to be a spoiler for you because you probably don't care because you're not going to play that game. But in Jedi Survivor, they have the High Republic Jedi in there as well. That comes to life, and they have like some of them have like white lights or yellow lightsabers, I'd say.
Yeah, and I might have been confusing yellow with orange or something. I don't know.
Kind of like the Temple Guards, they have yellow lightsabers, but they have like really weird sabers, like guard sabers.
Let me see what that see, Attack of the Clones, arena scene. So they're probably all green, blue, purple. Like, is that? Yeah. Actually, is Mace Windu the only purple one?
I think so. To be honest, I've only seen.
Yeah, I guess I had it in my head. It must just be like the video games that I played that had like choose your lightsaber color that made me think there was more than that.
Kyber crystals.
Yeah.
Doesn't show.
Do you need to take a quick break?
Not really. I actually might just grab some water quick.
Okay. I'll hang out here.
BRB quick.
There was something I was gonna. What was I gonna do? Oh, I know what I was gonna do. Actually, I need to talk about what happened on this episode.
Excuse me. Oh, damn. Wrong hole.
Oh.
Too much water. Whew. Damn. Getting hydrated up for tomorrow night.
Nice.
Are you going right at opening 5:00?
Might try to get there as soon as I can. Yeah.
Because I think they tap the first tapper tomorrow, and whoever's there, first come first serve kind of thing. Like they tap it, and whoever's there first can get a free beer filled up.
Well, that's reason enough to be there, I suppose.
I just have that appointment tomorrow, and then I can just move around over. By the way, you gotta let me know if you need me to bring that mug or not.
Crap! I knew I was gonna forget that. I was thinking about.
Like I said, I'm Ubering over there. I'm not gonna walk.
Oh yeah. Well, I was thinking about meeting up by your place anyway.
Well, then just come by me, and then we can Uber there.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just writing some quick notes based on the last one. Hera, Teva, and Jacen and Huyang, like all of them are looking for.
They're all looking for the Sabine and Ahsoka. You know, Wikipedia doesn't really say how many different colors there are in the canon. It just says kyber crystals. That being said, every kyber crystal that they sell at
Disney.
Disney.
What did you call it? Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, I call it Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Whatever they sell there in the colors, that has to be canon, right? I would think.
Yeah. I mean, canon's a funny thing because like there's things that are like there's things that are blatantly canon, and then there's things that are like what I would think are like borderline. Like I don't know, the Lego holiday special.
Yeah, that's just for fun for kids, I think, right?
Right. But a better example might be Galaxy's Edge. Like what happens there, like what all is tell you what's not canon is the Coke branded bottles that you can that look like detonators or whatever.
I found them. The crystal colors. There's purple, black, which dark saber, blue.
Yeah, but the
crimson,
black
red.
is like a very small chance if you get red. Supposedly, one in however many are black.
Now this is interesting. So they got crimson red for like Darth Vader and Darth Sidious, but when they they mentioned Kylo Ren's lightsaber. They said it's red yellow. Huh.
See, and that's maybe that's
weird.
part of the reason that I just kind of thought that's literally when I first see the lightsaber in this series, my first thought was it reminded me of Kylo Ren's for whatever reason. So maybe that's why.
Maybe he's because he didn't go full Sith. I mean, his eyes never went like that crazy look. Obsidian, it just emitted a red hued blade. Is this Cyan? Cyan?
Cyan.
Yeah.
It's a bluish.
That one's.
It's a light blue.
There's a green, obviously, yellow green, such as the Ahsoka Tano's Shoto lightsaber. Oh yeah, I suppose. It's a light green. Indigo, magenta, orange. There's pink. I've never seen a pink one. Orange red, Baylan Skull, and Shin Hati. That's interesting. So for Kylo Ren, it's red yellow. Baylan, Skull, and Shin are orange red.
And this is all
pink
canon.
It's all canon based on what Wikipedia is saying. Pink, which I've never seen a pink one yet.
So what do they say? You only mentioned Baylan and no, because they're not orange. They're red orange. Like
orange red.
Orange
yep.
red. So what?
That's what they say.
So what's but you did say something about just orange, right?
Yeah, orange. There is orange, such as. So yeah, I guess orange is canon. It says Styra Throne's lightsaber, so that must be a Jedi that I don't know who that is.
Spell that. Skyla
Drya.
Skyla. Oh, that ain't it. Oh wait, no, that's something from Warcraft.
Styra Throne. This must be like a character was on like. Oh. Well, it says Cal Kestis. The hell?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Did I fight this guy? Maybe I did. I don't remember fighting that guy.
How do you spell it again? Dyla?
Drya Thornne. Dyra Throne.
Okay. Huh. Cool. So, say they are in one of the Jedi games, or it just mentions Cal in there.
It does mention it.
I mean that image certainly looks like it's from a game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That is. Yeah, that's. I don't know if that's the first one or the second one.
That looks pretty good. I would guess the second one. But anywho,
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just filling in the last couple things here for this. Jacen, your lightsabers. Beep doop doo. I don't know how much we don't need like a whole lot of info here.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that charger to come in. I can take that with me for when we go to Anaheim.
Yeah, so I told Brian, he makes this 3D printed like little shelf for the kyber crystals that you can actually put like a light in too. So I told him I'm probably going to try to pick some of those up and buy one of those off him. But
maybe I'll buy a kyber crystal. That'd be cool to have.
Yeah, I gotta keep saving.
I don't really need a lightsaber.
I mean, I kind of do.
You do need a lightsaber?
Well, these things suck. I mean, I would, if I got some, I would try to get some cool wall mounts or something that I could display
like real lightsabers that look like
real ones.
Actually, I wouldn't mind having Ahsoka's lightsabers, the two her what is it called, the Shoto or whatever, and then the regular one, and just have them like sitting like on the top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Damn it! Not well. I'm saving money for this, so maybe I'll have the money to buy something fun for myself at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
yeah, they're yeah. I wish they were
it's
not as expensive as they are, but
well, what can you do, right?
yeah. How to?
Here's the thing, they're like cool with it because people will pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as people are paying, they're like, all right, well, sweet.
Okay, well that's probably enough. There. All right. Yeah, this is. I mean, it's a summary. Like, this doesn't need to be crazy anyway. I'm sure it's fine. Okay. Ready to go. Ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to Disnerds Plus, where we talk about your favorite nerdy shows on Disney Plus. I think I just had a stroke. This is episode 47 for Ahsoka number 6, Far, Far Away. Still Thursday, September 21st, 2023. I'm Shane.
Oh, I'm Mike.
Sorry, that was fast. Hey, what's happening? A long time no see.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, we just got done doing another episode, just letting people know.
Well, it's my fault because I, had to
It's
catch COVID.
your fault, yeah. No, definitely not, and not
Sucked.
a problem. Happy to postpone.
I just wish I didn't postpone on the big freaking episode that I had to do.
Yeah, but at least you got to.
At least you only had like a 35-minute one.
At least you didn't have to, try to do it super sick. That would have been no good.
Oh, I had COVID brain, so it wouldn't have worked right. It would have looked.
Been like, they fought, and
they did said some stuff, and then there was some big daddy whales.
Sometimes I feel that way when it's just on a normal day. So, yeah. So this episode, well, we'll get to it, but I feel like I have some problems with this title. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Curious now.
Before anything,
Previously on
Ahsoka, she the same the person we just said the name of the person, Ahsoka. She goes in that world between worlds. I don't know if the A is capitalized or not.
I just say a world between worlds. I mean,
I'm gonna say we don't capitalize the A, maybe. Anyway, she trained with Anakin there, and they go from the typical I don't know what you call it, the classic look of a world between worlds that we saw Ezra and I guess Ahsoka in the animated stuff before, to Anakin breaking through the pathway and then kind of like revisiting the past. And first it was just initially like her first mission initially that we see.
Yeah, one of the first, she says. It's one of the first missions.
And we see the younger Ahsoka live action, of course. We hadn't seen. It was cool to see all this stuff play out in live action. And then we see the jumps to the Sijan Mandalore. And that was it there or before that we see Rex. Rex was
Rex was in well, he's in both scenes, but you don't hear him say anything in the first scene. You see him sit on Ahsoka at the siege.
right. And Anakin says he doesn't recognize that particular battle because he wasn't there.
He was turning into Darth Vader at the time.
Yep. Still cool to see some form of Rex. I'm still hoping we get to see more of him at some point, live action. But so then, so they're out. A bunch of them are out looking for Ahsoka, Hera, Jacen, Captain Teva, and Huyang. All are kind of searching. And Jacen ends up hearing lightsabers over the ocean, which gets them to do more of a thorough search out there. They do end up finding her and saving her, and then Ahsoka's kind of like meditating, concentrating over by the henge/shrine, whatever you want to call it, and kind of looks up and she knows what they need to do to go after Sabine. And so they do. They take those purrgil just in time before the fleet comes to like arrest them or whatever they were gonna do. And they get out of there. But yeah, Hera. They go in the mouth of the purrgil, the big daddy purrgil, as you dubbed it. But Hera, on the other hand, she seemed like she was probably not, like, there wasn't good things happening for her. Seemed like.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah,
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll possibly have to see what happens.
I'm hoping good things, but I don't know. Maybe if they, if it's like anything else, if good things happen past this point, then perhaps she'll be commendated. We shall see. So, as the last episode ended, as you mentioned, seeing the hyperspace through the whale's teeth. Same deal here, kind of how it starts off, but we actually see all that swirl, multicolored swirl around the purrgil, which is a hyperspace we have not seen before. Very psychedelic.
It must be like a faster form of hyperspace, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's safe to say. Yep.
Boom.
But pretty at the same time. Yeah.
It's so pretty.
I thought, and there were some funny quips from Huyang here about intergalactic travel within a star whale. Now I really have done it all.
Yeah, that was good. I love Huyang. He's awesome. He's gotta be one of the favorites.
And he ends up asking Ahsoka if he wants him to tell her a story, and then brings up History of the Galaxy, parts 1, 2, and 3. One being the best. Oh, and then Ahsoka says one being the best, of course. Which, like, I couldn't help but think, is that like that almost feels like a direct nod at the 3 sequel trilogies, like like people having their preference of which one.
No,
I know. I'm just saying, like, I know there's a direct. I'm sure there's a specific thing that this means in canon, but
I feel like there's two things I've heard. One, it could be that they're talking about the 3 trilogies, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Like trilogy 1, trilogy 2, trilogy 3, or they're talking about the OG 1, 2, and 3, which would be the original trilogy. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Like,
I kind of think it means
one's her favorite, New Hope.
Sure. I assumed it was some kind of nod to that, but in reality, I figured it was like history that was like longer ago history than that, like Old Republic stuff, but I don't know. I mean, it's the history of the galaxy. Like the Old Republic stuff's got to be in there, right? Like.
Oh yeah. I mean, the first part, probably like the beginning of everything. Like what happened? How did we all figure everything out? Like now that we're where we're at, how did we get
Right.
to that point?
Right. Yeah, especially if it was in the Jedi archives, like then there wouldn't even have been at the time. Yeah, anything past that point, right? Unless it's been updated since or whatever, maybe. But anywho, so yeah, what? So she didn't tell Hera. Well, I think she's telling Huyang that she didn't
She didn't tell
actually
Hera
tell
about it.
Hera that that Sabine went willingly with Shin and Baylan, Morgan, Shin, and Baylan, but and then goes on to say how she could have ended it, no Thrawn, no war, and then Huyang says, and no Ezra, and
Mm.
and this is funny
Right.
because up until this point, feels like Huyang almost is like kind of ripping on Sabine a lot, but it almost feels like he's more on her side now in this.
Yeah.
He's harder on her, but he seems like he's more of a, like relates to her more almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he goes on to say it may have been the only choice for Sabine. And yeah, Huyang really did. After first, Ahsoka didn't want to hear a story, and then she, on second thought, maybe tell me a story after all. And he really does start it off with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, which
I was like, that's really that's like really crazy how they just tied that in there. Like,
well, yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's
a
cool.
little
I
on
like
the
it.
nose. I mean, like, I
I
don't know.
liked it. I liked it. It was cool.
I think it was too on the nose for my taste, but again, and that's where we get the episode title here, which for whatever reason, when I read that title, didn't even click. When I see the end part of that, it didn't click for me until this line. But so then on the Eye of Sion, we see Sabine is she's out, but her arms are cuffed.
Shackled.
Yeah, which is not exactly how I expected for Baylan holding up his end of the bargain for this to go down, but
No. Well, seems like Baylan's kind of a douche.
yeah. But not as douchey as he seems the least douchey of the trio here, like between Morgan, Shin, and Baylan. I think he's probably the nicest of the three.
Yeah.
So he comes to her cell window and she's kind of giving him crap that she would have preferred a room with a view, and then she goes on to say how they had a deal. He's clearly not fulfilling that.
Oh.
Yeah. So they only talk briefly, but then he ends up talking with Morgan a bit, and he still thinks that she could be of some use, but she thinks her focus. He thinks her focus to find Ezra blinds her, but that she could still be of use. Yeah. So they once they get to their destination, there's a very loud, thunderous exit out of hyperspace. Which is kind of interesting. Like the ship itself, when it goes to hyperspace, is so powerful and everything, and it makes all the ships behind. I guess it's almost like it makes me think of how, what do they call that behind planes, that like force that blows things in the air if you're behind a plane or whatever. It's almost like that, maybe.
The draft, or
Yeah, something
no?
like that. Something like that.
Kind of like when you get too close to another car and you can like try to slingshot around them, like their drag. That's what it's drag. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, something. That's what it's called on a plane.
Oh,
Force behind plane. Backdraft? No, not backdraft.
draft. Oh yeah, maybe draft. That makes sense.
Forces. I don't know. I think it's plane taking off. There's some movie with John Cusack. Force is called The Lift. Well, not The Lift. Anyway, it's irrelevant. So anyway, yeah.
Interesting.
Obviously, it doesn't affect the ship itself. Is what I'm getting at. Like, it doesn't go flying at the same time. It's also a large ring, but so where they arrive is the planet of Peridea.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Like that. I don't know why I sounded like
Peridea.
I was auto-tuned when I said that. Just
Peridea. Kind of did. Okay, T-Pain.
John Cusack 2012 movie. No, not 2012. It's like an older movie, Herschel. But yeah, so I guess Peridea is the ancient homeworld of Morgan's ancestors, the Dathomiri. Dathomiri,
yeah. Dathomiri.
And they're witches. Because what's the name of the planet? Is it Dathomir?
Dathomir is a planet in the Star Wars galaxy. It's getting confusing.
The Star Wars galaxy, yeah. Right. Which is also the planet of Darth Maul's race, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then they proceed to talk about how the purrgil used to be that the witches used to ride them, which I thought was kind of weird.
Ride that purrgil. Woo!
Yeah, maybe in their mouths was the like they're doing. But so I guess this is also a graveyard for purrgil, where the purrgil went to die and somehow decay in space.
I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, I don't think this would happen in real space, but okay.
Not Con Air, Herschel. Next, he's going to tell me say anything or something. I'm like, no. Yeah, but there is some big old deteriorating
bones.
Whale bone, like rib cages and stuff.
Whale carcasses.
And they're exploding them on the beach, and just kind of.
Does that mean that whole ring around that planet is just whale carcasses everywhere?
Yes, I think you finally got it. I think Pushing 10 is the movie I'm thinking of. Yeah, because Billy Bob's in it too. But yeah, that movie has that force I'm talking about behind the plane. Where there's actually kind of a funny scene in that movie where, that force is put into play. Figure out what the force is called, Herschel. Maybe that's maybe. Yeah, if you can find that out, that'd be cool too. But anyway, yeah. So we see those big old whale rib cages and things they're just kind of floating through, and they receive. What's that?
I said big old whale.
Yep.
Big fat whale.
Yeah, and they're not floating through Brendan Fraser or anything here. So, still have to see that movie. But
no, me neither.
They get a beacon from the planet's surface, and we see the guards take Sabine out of her cell. And they go on to a little transport. I put transport down to the surface. And on the way down, we see some very tall, thin statues. Some of them are just kind of big heads. But, yeah, they're all just very narrow-looking figures.
Creepy looking.
Yeah, and then there's like a lake or some kind of water. As well, a little bit of What's that?
So it's bath water.
Yeah. See, Morgan is very pleased. She's smiling as they descend onto the
She's
surface.
happy. She's back to her ancestral home.
Yeah, I suppose good reason to be happy. And they land on one of those circular platforms, docking bay thing. I don't know what do you call it? Landing pad, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably the best. Landing pad would work. Landing
Sure.
docking station.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
pretty much right out in front of them, we see another one of those like henge-looking shrine things, except in this case,
This one looks nice.
oh sure. It's just kind of funny because things would just look older here, but
It's like kept up.
yeah. We see 3 red cloaked witches. Very much in keeping with the ones on Dathomir.
Oh, they sure did when they started talking. I'm like, oh wow, okay, so they actually brought that into canon or into live action now. Cool.
Yeah, and they've got 3 orbs with like a laser triangular beam around, it's connecting them.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing at that point. It was really kind of weird.
Yeah,
Kinda
it's
standing
almost
around in
like
circles.
they were like that had to do with the beacon to them or something, or that was how they were transmitting to the ship or something, like not entirely sure, or maybe just meditating, some kind. But triangular is 3. It's like trinity of some kind, represents something, I'm sure. But whatever this energy is, I guess we've kind of seen similar types of electrical energy in the Star Wars galaxy before.
Yeah, I would say we have.
Yeah. So yeah, they stop doing what they're doing. They come over and greet Morgan, and Morgan says that she heard their dream, and that they
I had a dream.
yeah, and that she came as Thrawn had promised him, and then it's kind of a weird thing where they say, "And you shall wait," because she asks, where is Thrawn?" And they tell her, "You shall wait. He is coming." Like, which is kind of just, it's like, hey, we're on the same side, but you're gonna wait, okay? Just wait your
turn.
damn turn. Yep. And then one of them also makes a comment about, I think they say it reeks of Jedi. They continue.
Yep. I was like, wow. Sounds like they don't like Jedi.
They go on to refer to Sabine as it constantly here, but she and they bring the laser balls over.
Laser balls.
Levitate. They go over and surround Sabine and bind her with a laser
Great balls
laser
of
rope.
lasers.
Call it laser rope, I guess. Laser rope.
Laser rope.
And they say, "It will wait in solitude." Sabine continues talking about the deal that they had to do. We had a deal! And then the laser balls proceed to drop her down in a cell. Once again, another cell.
As they do.
And then in the next scene, we see it's a 3-wolf night. We see 3 of these, well, what we find out to be are called howlers. Howling, turns out.
As they do usually when you have a howler, they howl. Howl, howl, howl.
Kind of in the foreground as it pans over to this complex. I guess. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Temple thing. I don't actually know, but we'll just say building. I think it's safe to say. That's right. Sinister agents, we're calling them, right? Collectively, or Shin and Baylan.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, we see a ship take off. Who? Yeah, the ship takes off.
That was their ship. It was just going back up to the big ring ship, or the Eye of Sion.
Just like droid piloted.
Yep.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. So then, so Shin and Baylan, they're kind of like they're looking around. They're kind of admiring the architecture of this henge, like you pointed out. Like it's actually pretty intricate patterns on the little pillars on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Baylan and Shin kind of have a little heart to heart. Start talking about old stories, or that that this particular galaxy was part of old stories, basically tales, and
Tales of the Jedi.
didn't really they weren't meant to be thought as reality. And he went on to talk about how he watched the Jedi Temple burn, and continued talking about how as you get older, you realize it's all inevitable, like kind of like some folks just want to watch the world burn, but that basically the history repeats itself again and again.
Yeah.
And the sort of power that many seek, but Shin in particular seems to seek more than Baylan even, and that power is fleeting, but what he seeks is the beginning, like a new
Something
beginning.
new. Yep.
Again, sounds pretty Thanos-y to me, but yep. You know, Disney, probably a lot of their properties sharing each other's thoughts at this point.
Yeah.
Common,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's Filoni, you know. But
Filoni. It is Filoni. He's great. I love him.
yeah,
Love his work.
good stuff, Filoni, good stuff. Yeah. So then we see Sabine in the cell there, and she's oh yeah, she says Ahsoka's name for whatever, although it's not super clear. This is one of those cases where subtitles helps.
Little whisper.
Yeah. And then she goes on to say, "What am I doing?" And then she says, "All right." She holds her hand up again to try to use the Force once more on this door, to try to break out. And we see rumbling going on.
Oh my god.
But no. Once again, it is not. It is for naught for her to be able to use her Force powers. Still.
Damn it.
Not yet anyway.
Damn it.
But it is instead, of course, this giant Star Destroyer known as the Chimera.
Yeah, the Chimera.
Imperial class Star Destroyer. Doesn't say Super Star Destroyer. I think we've talked about this before. Not
Yeah, I don't think it's a Super Star.
not a Super
normal
Star
one, but
Destroyer.
It's just it's the ship that holds
That
a
made
certain man.
it just sounded like you're gonna use the Millennium Falcon line there or something. That made the Kessel Run. Yeah. I mean that makes sense. Like the super I don't know how many Super Star Destroyers there were, but Vader or the Emperors, were certainly
Well,
on
they
one.
had that really big one. That was a Super Star Destroyer, right? At the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Or Fluent. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. So
but
maybe there was only really ever like one of those or something,
I think it was cool though to see that they actually brought, obviously they're keeping it pretty close to where we left off in Rebels, but you see Thrawn's ship all messed up because of the purrgil pulling it into hyperspace, and then having to have all that gold-looking patches all over it. That's pretty gnarly.
Ah, okay. Because like I noticed that. Well, what's coming up? We see a lot more of the gold you're referring to, but I'll have to go back and look at the ship now because that's cool to know. So Chimera, gold patches. I kind of want to see if there's any any images of it. But it does come. What's that?
I was gonna say, doesn't it look like when the Chimera is coming up and lowering itself down by that pillar where they're all standing? Doesn't it look like when it sits there, it's like it's a model? It's like literally they're just. It looks like a model.
I didn't think about that, but that is kind of funny. It is like a pedestal that a model would sit on. Maybe subconscious. I was like thinking that's cool. I think I was thinking like, oh, it's cool that fits right on that pillar or pedestal. But yeah, that's good call.
It's a good effect though, right?
So yes, indeed. So it descends upon this pillar where all of our cast members are standing, and then we see just a giant ass army of these dirty looking / gold plated stormtroopers, like you said. So a lot of the armor clearly had been damaged over the years and replaced.
They've been out there 9 years now, so.
And replaced with this gold. And all the troopers are chanting Thrawn over and over. We see this. Actually, I didn't. Is it Enoch? I always want to say Enoch, but I swear they were pronouncing it like Enoch or something.
They said Enoch.
Okay. Anyway, they
It's a biblical name. That's why I think it's like has some sort of meaning. So we'll find out who this guy or trooper they're called night troopers in this. I noticed in the subtitles it said night trooper.
This might be allowed if I do this. I'm going to turn this down real quick. Hold on.
Enoch.
That's weird. You probably couldn't hear that. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. We'll roll with it. So yeah, Enoch is kind of like giving the orders to the troopers, and this being a like gold face mask looking trooper, it's got like the whole face is gold, which looks pretty badass.
Yep, I like it.
And
I like it a lot.
And we see Thrawn walking down the middle of the. It's another one of those ones where you could play like music is everything, and you just change it to that, whatever that one is that's got the Emperor walking off. That changes up the music.
Yep.
It's funny. But no, we get the classic ominous Thrawn organ music playing, of course, which is very much signature stuff. For sure, but very very chills, goosebumps moment here. We finally get to see live action Thrawn marching down the center aisle here, and when he gets to the front, the first thing he says, "Oh man!" And this is like he's perfect voice for this character, and like. Because up until this point, all we'd seen was the like one shot of him, of that particular actor as Thrawn, and everybody thinking it looked like Elon Musk. But all that worry,
one shot,
all that worry kind of went away when I heard the voice. I feel like because it was like, oh shit, yeah, no, this is
that's like that voice makes that character. Having that voice like that, like damn,
without a doubt,
terrified.
Without a doubt. Yep. And the first thing he says is, What was first just a dream has become a frightening reality for those who may oppose us.
Right? Just saying that, just like that's the first thing he says. I'm like, man, this guy's scary. Like,
Yep. And he goes on to salute the great mothers, the three great mothers that were there, and praises Morgan Elsbeth for bringing them.
good job, Morgan. You did it.
We're coming to save, to take him away from exile. Goes on to say that Enoch's going to begin the cargo transfer per agreement with the great mothers. This is, I'll be honest.
Bodies.
What's that?
I thought they're dead bodies that they're taking.
Oh God, do they?
Those are Night Sisters. All Night Sisters dead. So, yeah, because Morgan's like, I've seen the catacombs. It's going to take you at least 3 rotations, and every one of those canisters is literally a dead Night Sister or Night Mother or something. So I think they're going to take them back, and they're going to try to resurrect them, just like in Clone Wars and stuff.
Wow.
Plus, well, we already saw that. What was that guy's name? The one that died in episode 4.
Marok.
Yeah, he was a Night Sister, like,
right.
Magic in him.
Right. Yeah. Very true.
Who knows? Maybe the Night Troopers. Maybe some of these Night Troopers are not alive.
Yep, could be.
Because Enoch has a really weird talking. He's got that robotic modulator when he talks.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, good point. And I don't know about you. Did you like with every person that's masked? Like, is this Ezra? Is this Ezra? Like, I'm thinking like.
No, I was not thinking that. I was just like, wow, these look like some crazy troopers here. Never seen this happen, but
yeah, I'm just saying. At first it was Marok. Then I'm like, could that be Ezra? And then I thought the same thing with Enoch. But thankfully,
I actually didn't think that. I was just waiting.
Yeah.
I knew that we were finally getting close to Ezra. I didn't know if it was going to be this episode or next episode we saw him.
Right. So then, Baylan ends up mentioning that they brought Sabine, or I think Thrawn picked up on it first or something. Oh, that somebody mentioned they had a prisoner. Baylan.
Oh, the mothers did, the great mothers.
Right. Baylan mentions that he brought Sabine, who Thrawn is familiar with. Morgan introduces Baylan, I think, first.
And then Shin.
Yep, and he recognizes the name as being General Baylan, Skull of the Jedi Order.
The Jedi Order.
And, but that he's quite right that she'd be of use. You're quite right. Then the troopers go and bring Sabine to Thrawn. He goes on to say that he has her to thank for his escape from exile. And what was that?
Said, "Good job, Sabine."
Yes.
Letting the cat out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Cat being Thrawn.
Thrawn the cat.
Good name for a cat, actually.
Then
Here, Thrawny.
First, she's obviously very quick with asking, like, where's Ezra? And then he says, yes, that singular focus is what will reshape their galaxy. Ultimately,
Baylan said earlier she was single-minded thinking. So.
Yep, but then surprisingly, goes on to say he intends to honor Baylan's agreement. And she actually, for a brief second, looked kind of genuinely surprised about that. That they'll also provide provisions, amount, and the latest intel on Bridger's whereabouts. Like, okay, I smell something smells fishy here.
I smell rat.
Yeah. And then he goes on to say, or no, actually it was it Enoch? They wanted to say, I don't remember if it's Thrawn or Enoch here that says once they leave, she'll be stranded.
That was
Still
Thrawn.
Thrawn, yeah.
Yeah.
And that he could very well be dead anyway. But then she quips that if he's fine, he definitely would have survived, yeah. And then she asked what kind of ride you got around here. And it is, in fact, one of those wolf-like creatures, or a howler, which obeys the commands that, this is Enoch here, that's commanding it to sit or to lie down, in order for Sabine to mount said howler. And Enoch goes on to warn of nomads that wander and prey upon each other in the, whatever you call it, desert, plains, whatever this particular terrain is. And hands her some weapons to boot, or I guess it's her lightsabers, right?
Her weapons and her guns and the lightsaber. Yep.
Blaster and saber. But then he proceeds to say, die well. Which I'm like, yeah, this guy doesn't seem so bad. Die well. Oh, okay. And then we see the big old stone doors slide open. And she's off. She's off to the races.
Yeah.
And then we see Shin is mentioning that she's on a fool's errand. Oh, they're all kind of standing up, looking out above as Sabine takes off. And Shin says it's a fool's errand, and Thrawn goes on to say that they may follow him, meaning Shin and Baylan, and so that they may, once she finds Ezra, that they can destroy them both. Just like, oh, yeah, clever. Because clearly they haven't been able to find her him up until this point.
Clever gal.
So then out in kind of the wilderness, let's say, despite being like kind of an arid, let's say arid landscape, not as this is a better looking landscape than Tatooine, let's say.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely take this over Tatooine.
Yes. Maybe some actual vegetation going on here. We see Sabine using some type of locating, transmitting device.
Just reading life signs, basically. It's trying to scan what's out there.
Yep, and pretty quickly that gets shot out of her hand. We see her howler run off, and gunfire ensues with, of course, the aforementioned nomads, which are essentially the Tusken Raiders of this planet, from all accounts. They even kind of sound like them.
That would be that's fair to say.
They look pretty different, but yeah, they are pretty equipped. They're packing. They're because they got blasters, unlike the Tusken Raiders.
Packing heat.
Yep, and they bunch of gunfire. That pretty quickly turns into close quarters combat. They actually end up taking her down, and that's when the lightsaber comes out. It's like, okay, no more Mrs. Nice Guy. Ms. Nice Guy. So she makes makes waste of them pretty quickly. And one of them gets gets a lightsaber to the face. He's kind of like,
No, he gets a blast. No, it's a blaster bolt. I thought because
Oh.
she like reflects his blaster bolt.
Oh, okay. And then she gets down to one single one of the nomads, and that one just kind of like, I'm out of here. Takes off. And so she picks up that, same device that got shot out of her hand and tells it's not looking very good shape. Tosses it down and just walks off, frustrated. And back at the base, building, temple, whatever the hell it is, area, the Baylan and Shin ride off, also on howlers. And they are, then we get Thrawn ordering to prepare 2 attack squads. I think it's Morgan that wants more, but he goes on to say the numbers have dwindled. They don't want to risk losing more, basically. And Thrawn goes on to say escape is their primary objective, and basically that those two, neither.
He doesn't really care what happens to them. He
doesn't care what happens to Sabine and
Ezra, of course,
Ezra,
Sabine.
or Shin and Baylan for that matter. Her mercenaries, as he refers to them.
Yep.
So then back out in the wilderness, we see this was kind of an adorable scene, if I'm being honest. She's kind of like scolding the howler. You ran off. And so she goes, the howler goes running off to the right, and Sabine walks off to the left, and then you see the howler come back, like kind of whining, whimpering, and and I'm like, aw. See, this is the part I was talking about. That's the awe that was appropriate for this scenario. But she pretty quickly, like she can't like look in those puppy dog eyes and be mad for too long.
And if those puppy dog eyes wanted to kill you, they probably could too.
Yeah, it's because I would have thought for sure something like that would have been like a terrifying monster, but
Right.
turns out they're cute. So she ends up forgiving him pretty quickly, and around that time, that is when the howler, who I don't think is named, or wait,
I didn't think it was named.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, yeah.
But the howler sniffs something out, and so she gets back on him, and they ride off once more.
Then, the sunset.
So they arrive at the area that the howler was sniffing out, kind of a deserted, what looks to be kind of a clearing, I guess. And there's I said ties here. Tries, I think is what I was trying, like tries drinking, or he does drink. It's a little unclear if there was actually water there or not.
There was water there. He was drinking some water.
Very
Sabine said,
minor.
Thirsty.
Yeah, very minor. Must have been a very minor amount in this climate, because I did find some water, so he was thirsty, but it wasn't just thirsty, because he ends up sniffing something that she's like, it's a rock, but turns out it's not a rock. It is in fact a Ninja Turtle. That's right. Kind of. It's like a turtle person, which is a naughty. I'm gonna say at least that's the language. So I assume that's
naughty. I don't know.
Let's say naughty. And tell the howler is trying to go after this little guy. He's a cute little turtle-looking guy. He's got like a high-pitched voice, but he's speaking the Noti language. And And Sabine keeps telling the howler down, or Tota, in whatever language that is. And
I don't know what that is.
tell that the little guy is concerned of being hurt. The howler gets pretty excited, though, and Turtle gets a little excited. Turtle gets a little excited right after that. It sees the Rebel logo on Sabine's armor, which, of course, didn't even think about this until just now. Sabine was infamous for spray painting on everything in Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's art.
the little guy goes on to show that he's actually got the Rebel symbol on a necklace under his garment. And pretty soon after that, all the other turtle folk wake up around him. Or they weren't really sleeping.
Turtles
probably.
everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this up, and once we get a little bit further along here, but Sabine goes on to say, tells the howler that he did good. He was a good doggo.
Good boy. Good.
He was good as doggo. So then the agents catch up. The sinister agents catch up with where she made work of the nomads, and Baylan can tell pretty quickly that she did in fact survive. I mean, yeah, if you see a bunch of bodies and no Sabine body, I think that's a pretty good sign. Yeah, so that's a part about Baylan says he didn't know Ezra, I think he was talking about here. Because he was a Jedi that was quote unquote bred in the wild.
Right. A Boken.
Yes.
Boken Jedi is what they call them.
And then Shin kind of asks if it's like her, but he says no.
He's like, oh, then that's me. And he's like, no, you're something more.
Trained to be something even more, even greater.
Yes.
He goes on to say that he doesn't. I think she straight up asked him if he misses the order, and he says he misses the idea of it, but that it's not the truth. That it had weakness and that there's no future there. And he sees what once was this witch kingdom of Dathmiri, and she's not it's not like she's down with it. Like she doesn't want to hang out here.
No, she's like, I want to go back. I'm done. I want to go home.
She just sees a wasteland. But he goes on to say, Baylan goes on to say, can't you hear it? Can't you see it?
I wonder what he's gonna find, because I'm curious now what he's hearing and seeing.
And then she's just like, I see bandits. And then he's like, he's okay with it. He's like, we're not, we don't need bloodshed. And then he goes on to say the enemy of our enemy is our friend for now. So then the Toidles go on to lead. And let me quick say, so this is clearly it's a different galaxy. It can't be the same, but there were these turtle creatures in the Resistance show. But they were bigger creatures, and they were like the engineers.
Turtle and a half shell.
So certainly everything that would be on this planet, with the exception of the humans, would be totally new to the Star Wars. I guess we can go ahead and say universe at this point.
Basically.
There's always galaxy before, but now if there's more than one galaxy,
we have entered a new galaxy.
Yep. So yeah, the turtles. they go on to lead Sabine and her howler to a village, which has a bunch of huts or home-like
small
structures.
trailers.
Yeah, they do.
I look like it looked like a little trailer park.
They kind of
Turtle park.
but they also kind of resembled turtle shells themselves, I thought.
Yeah, they did.
And all I have to say about this is, what were they doing just lying out in the middle of nowhere?
I don't know.
Like, did they sense?
But
I mean,
I don't know.
maybe they were. Maybe it was like a water collection thing or something. I don't know. But yeah, they one of them what do we call them again? Noti. They present Sabine a rock. She's kind of like
food.
Oh,
of some sort.
Was it okay? She's like, no thanks. Okay, maybe it was food. But and then it's not too long before we finally and this kind of got me a little bit teary-eyed, I'll be honest. Like we hear, I knew I could count on you, and we see leaning against one of those trailers is of course Ezra Bridger. Who's looking more like Kanan than ever. At least the last we saw of Kanan. Mm-hmm. With his full beard going on, which, damn, Disney Twitter or Star Wars Twitter account spoiled for me. I mean, it's my own fault, I admit, but like,
can't look at social media.
Why do they gotta post that shit 2 days after the damn episode aired? Like, but anyway, I know they're trying to like build more. They're trying to bring people in more, but it's like, come on, guys! Like, you didn't put that in the trailer. You put Thrawn in the trailer. I get that, but you didn't put Ezra in the trailer for a reason. Like, or maybe they. I don't think they did they?
No, they didn't.
To be fair, we did see him in a hologram before this, but he was beardless. I think.
Yeah, that was prior to him leaving on his trip with Thrawn.
I had to comment on it though. I had to like give him a little shade for that. I'm just getting a little bit because I always gave Star Wars fans always seem really good about not spoiling things, and then like except for Lucasfilm themselves, like
yeah, like everyone saw it already. Ha ha.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll never learn. So yeah, we finally see him, and yeah, it's let's see. Oh yeah, so of course he had to throw in though it sure took you long enough in there, and she kind of chuckles. But yeah, they yeah, he said. Well, she said. Sabine says, "Well, you didn't tell anyone where you were going," and he said, "Well,
yeah.
I didn't know." And
kind of like how Ahsoka doesn't know where they're going, like she said. I have no idea where we're going. We're just gonna take a ride on a space whale.
Yep, and goes on to say, "Well, it worked, didn't it?" And yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
And they hug. Yay! They embrace.
Yay.
Friends forever. And then we see the Noti, the Toidles they're also a little
Portals.
They're a little excited to see. Yay!
Yeah.
Little cheering, little excitement going on there. And yeah. Oh yeah. So then Ezra goes on to say that these his friends. Oh yeah. Glad that his friends found her. And then she says, "Looks like you've got your very own band of rebels." They said it. They said the name. Well, Rebels. It's a different show, but she did say it.
She did.
So then Ezra is like he's expressing his confusion over how'd you get a howler? Like, And see the notes here. One of them tosses the howler. I guess maybe yeah. Probably like you mentioned, the same kind of thing they were trying to feed or trying to hand to Sabine, but he like kind of gobbles that thing up real quick, and they're kind of like But she was not she's just not in the mood to talk about how she got there, about, how she went up there. Also probably feeling a little guilty how she got there. But, she says, can you just let me be happy that she found you? And they pretty quickly are saying, Ezra's, says they don't stay in one place for very long, so that they gotta pack up, and he says he can't wait to go home. But also thanks her for coming. Just
only he knew.
Yeah, this is it's kind of weird how makes me question how they're packing up those trailers too. Like they all fold up somehow.
I don't know. It's good question how that works.
Yeah, unless this was already like a settlement before or something. So then back at the base building area. Need a better name for that. We see the mothers. Is that who's they start talking about the thread of fate? Speaking to the others. Oh, I don't know if I meant other. Oh, mothers is what I meant here. Speaking to the mothers. That another comes, a Jedi, and that they ride the travelers, which is kind of confusing if you don't know they're talking about space whales.
Ooh.
That
would be purrgil, right?
Yeah, that would be a space dolphin, I think. Thrawn wonders.
Space guppy.
Yeah. Thrawn is wondering if it could be the recently deceased Ahsoka Tano, which I thought was kind of funny that he just says recently deceased. Like, she's not a sister of Dathomir. Like she's
not dead yet.
No. He doesn't buy it. Baylan, Morgan talks about how Baylan assured her of her death, but
he doesn't trust
Thrawn goes on to say he was also once a Jedi, so he's flawed as well. And he wants to know the entire background of Ahsoka, specifically, I think, because despite Thrawn being in Rebels, he must he must know pretty little about her, because Ahsoka's not like.
Yeah, I don't think they ever actually met.
Right.
No, they never met. No, I don't think they've ever face to face. So.
Right. And he goes on to tell Morgan that if a star whale approaches, destroy it with prejudice.
Aw, poor star whales.
Yeah, something tells me they're not like harpooning a Moby Dick or whatever. Like it's. I feel like they don't go down easy. I'm guessing.
No, they probably have their skin's probably tough, especially if they're going through hyperspace.
And also, they're like bigger. They're probably like 10 times bigger than a blue whale or something. Like they don't seem small, even the smallest ones. Yeah. So then he also mentions to the mothers. What do they call them? What kind of mothers?
Great mothers.
Great mothers. He once again requires the aid of the dark magic, but Migick is how they spell that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to not make it like how we spell it in the real world, but a different type of
They don't want to. They
magic.
don't want to confuse it with David Blaine.
Right. They don't want to confuse it with our real magic we have in real life.
And then the Great Mothers proceed to say that the thread of destiny demands it. So it's already already in the works, which I'm guessing may have something to do with that transfer, the aforementioned transfer.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna
I think so too.
We're gonna see some necromania.
We have 2 more episodes.
Necromancing.
We have 2 more episodes, so we'll see.
Yeah, isn't that crazy, man? 2 more episodes. Holy cow!
And then it's Loki.
Yes.
But that's 6 episodes.
How the heck did I manage to talk for that long? Just looking at the time now. Sorry about that. I think it's just if you don't take too many notes, you just still there's just always stuff to talk about. Good stuff. Good program.
Now you lead on this one.
Yeah, I sure do. 4 or 5.
I'm staying at 4-7.
Okay.
Just because Thrawn and Ezra are back. And in live action.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of Ezra.
And you got to see the Great Mothers in live action. And you got to see the Chimera in live action with all its broken golden glory. So I'm like, it wasn't as good as the last one and this one I think are both equally good.
Am I allowed to change mine?
I get sure.
I've done it before, but I think we're allowed because you did remind me how many goosebumps I got when we finally see Thrawn.
His voice is what gets me. I'm like, man, that guy is scary. If you met him in real life, a real person.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a pretty ominous scene. I'm gonna agree with you on 4-7 this time. Yeah, because I think, it's like, was it better than the last one or was it the same? I don't know. It
was the same to me. I think
equally. I think I'm thinking maybe it was a little better than last time. So, checks out. Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, I suppose we should call it a night. What do you think?
Yeah, I gotta go to bed.
Okay. Well, thanks for staying on. Alrighty. Hey, everyone. If you want to write us in, you can do that. We do have an email address.
Do it.
I think I would receive it if you sent them. We get your email.
It's usually how email works.
Disnerdsplus@gmail.com as long as you're not spam. Disnerdsplus.com is the website. Recording the next I think the next 2 Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/ShaveMadOx. You can find Mike at CoolAsACucumber, and you can find me at ShaveMadOx. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Herschel, again. Thanks, Mike.
Later.
Have a great night. And may the Force be with you. Okay.
Yeah. What fun.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna go to sleep, get through for tomorrow, and then have a blasty blast tomorrow night.
Hell yeah.
I should be home right by, I'm thinking 4:45 because I have to go to the procedure at 3:40.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll keep it posted.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, I didn't know if I should leave my car down there or...
It's up to you. I mean,
All right.
cool. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Bye. Thanks, the penile reduction procedure. All right. Thanks again, Herschel, for hanging. We will catch you later. Have a great night and much success. He's dancing, he's dancing, he's dancing, he's to dancing, he's a dancing, he's dancing, he's dancing, he's to dancing, and goodbye.